Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Michael. Today I'm going to show you how to make an artisan bread, and I'm going to be using cranberries and pecans in this one. So I've got some fresh cranberries and I've got some pecans, and I've got those here on the side, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. But first we want to talk about our yeast. So I've got 1.5 cups of warm water, and you want that to be between 100 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Any hotter than that could take the opportunity for it to kill the yeast, and you definitely don't want to do that. A little bit lower than that, it'll take just a little bit longer for that to activate. And in that, I've got 1 tablespoon of honey. You can use sugar if you don't have the honey, but it's 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of honey or sugar. And then I put in 1/2 teaspoon or 2 grams of an active dry yeast. And I've been letting this sit here activate, and we've got a nice activation on our yeast. So I know that is good and ready to go. If you don't see that bubbling on the top, definitely you want to throw that out and start over again with some fresh yeast, because you don't want to go through the whole process and you don't have that on the top, and then your yeast and your bread is not going to work and you won't get that rise on it that we're looking for. So I've got my bread flour here, and you can also use all-purpose flour if you want to. This is 360 grams or 3 cups. I like the bread flour because I like that chewy texture that the bread's going to have to it. If you use the all-purpose flour, it's not going to have that same consistency to it as the bread flour. So 3 cups, 360 grams. Now with that, I've got 1.5 teaspoons of salt or 9 grams, and we want to put that into our flour. You do not want to put that into your yeast when you're activating that, because the salt and the yeast don't get along together when they're trying to activate like that. So we want to mix in our salt in with our flour, and I've got a whisk here, and I'm just going to give that a good whisk through. All right, I've got that salt and that flour mixed together now. And we'll take our water and our yeast and our honey, and we'll put that now with our dry ingredients. We're just going to bring this together with this whisk until the dry and the wet come together. We don't want to really overwork this. This is a no-knead dough, and it's going to be a little shaggy looking and wet, so don't be concerned about that. When it starts rising, it'll take care of itself. So we've got that flour now mixed in with our other ingredients there. And I've got some cranberries here. These are whole cranberries, and I've taken those and just cut those in half. If you've got the opportunity to get the fresh ones when they're in season, grab some of these. This is 60 grams or 1/2 cup, and just cut those in half. Give them a good wash first and then cut them in half. Now I've got 60 grams or 1/2 cup of pecans, and with these I've just given these a rough chop. These were whole halves, and I definitely didn't want that in that. But if you like that, definitely you can put the whole halves in there. I just gave this a rough chop so that I get a little bit of a bite in the bread throughout the entire dough mixture. And with that, we just want to bring this together. And we're going to fold in the cranberries and the pecans. You can see how easy this is. This comes together really quickly, and you can see that it is a little bit on the shaggy side. And we're just going to leave this like this, and I'm going to put a bonnet on the top of mine. Now if you don't have one of these bonnets here for cooking, then you can definitely put some saran wrap over the top of it, but you want to cover it. And I'm just going to put this over the top just like this, and you can let this sit out now for 12 to 18 hours. What that's going to do is that yeast is going to get in there with that bread flour and those cranberries and those pecans, and it's just going to all come together and make your bread taste so wonderful at the end. So let this sit somewhere nice and quiet. If you want to put it in the oven, you can. Just make sure the oven is off, or you can put it in the microwave. The same thing, just put it in there, and that will be maybe a little bit warmer than if you set it out on the countertop. But this needs to rest for 12 to 18 hours. It needs to double in size. When that happens, we'll come back and I'll show you what happens next. I'm back. It's been 14 hours and my dough has doubled in size, and we're getting ready now to bake our cranberry and pecan dough here. So I wanted to show you what that looked like, how that's risen up. That looks very good where that is now. All right, now let's get ready to put our Dutch oven or a bread cloche that I have here. I've got the Emile Henry Bread Cloche, and we're going to put that into that oven, and we're going to preheat this along with the oven up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've got mine, it's just empty with the base and the lid on it, and I've taken a bit of parchment paper, and I've taken that and I've cut that to match the bottom of the sides there, because this has the berries and the pecans in there, so I don't want that to stick to the bottom of this. If you've got one of these, you can put a little bit of flour dusting in the bottom, but I'm just going to use the parchment paper, and once we get the oven heated up, I'll put that in. So I'm going to put that into that preheated 450 degree oven for about 30 minutes, and I'm going to come right back and we're going to start working on our dough because it needs to go through a second rise again. Stick with me. All right, I've got that bread cloche in the oven now, and again, the oven was cold. The bread cloche was cold. You want to do the same thing with your Dutch oven. You want it into a cold oven with the cold Dutch oven, and you bring the temperature up together as that's preheating. So now that I've got this here, I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to get a little bit of flour, and I'm going to put that on my cutting board here. If you're using the countertop, then just sprinkle some out on the countertop. We just don't want this to stick to it because the dough is still a little on the sticky side. So we'll put that out just like that. And I'll put just a little bit on my hands because we don't want it sticking to our hands either. Now I'm going to take my dough and turn it out onto the cutting board here. It's absolutely beautiful with those cranberries in there. I'm going to take a little bit more of my flour and I'm going to sprinkle that across the top of this dough because we're sitting on the bottom of the bowl there. It was a little wet. And we're going to take that and we're going to just kind of pat it down on itself to deflate it from where it has been through that real active rise. And with this, we're going to fold it in on itself about 4 times, and we want to build it up just a little bit. So you'll take one edge of it, fold it to the middle, take the other edge, fold it to the middle, and then we're going to pat it down. Let me get a little bit more flour on my hands. Now I'm going to take that and turn that 90 degrees and give that a little bit of a stretch. And I'm going to do the same thing. We'll turn it into the middle, bring the other end up and fold it over that other piece and just give it a tap down. Now we want to kind of elongate that again. And we'll do this 2 more times. I went and got a bench scraper so that I could form it into my ball now. And I've given it about 4 to 5 turns in on itself. And then you want to take the palms of your hands here on the edges and you just want to give it a twist under just like that, and that will form that right into a ball. All right, we've got that formed into a ball. Now I'm going to take my bench scraper that I've got here and I'm going to pick that up onto the bench scraper. I want to take that paper that I've got, and this will make this a lot easier transferring it to our bread cloche. So we're just going to sit it like that, and then I'm going to take a towel here, just a regular flour cloth towel or a tea towel, and we're going to put that over the top of it, and I'm going to let that sit for 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to let it come to a little bit of a rise again as our bread cloche or your Dutch oven is heating up. We'll come back and I'll show you what we'll do next. I'm back. It's been about 35 minutes now. I'm going to show you my dough that has risen up a little bit more. That looks really nice now. Now the next step with that, we need to make some slits in the top of this, because if we don't do that, the steam won't be able to get out of it and it'll cause the dough to burst at some point. It's going to find the weakest point and it's going to come out that way. So now we're going to take a bread lamb. If you've never seen one of these before, this is just a razor blade with a wooden handle on it. And you take that and you can make all kind of different kind of designs on the top of it. We can take it and make a slit right down the side like that. And we can make one over here. If you can get really artistic with it and make it just however you want to, we'll put one there and I'll put one down here across the bottom. Now with that, I'm going to put the little leather sleeve back over the top of it. And if you don't have one of these, you can definitely use a knife. If you've got one of those, just score it some kind of way to let the steam escape out of it. Now I'm going to use my gloves here. I'm going to go get my bread cloche out of the oven and I'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, I've got the base of my bread cloche here and I've got the top on the oven over there. And we're just going to take this and be really careful. We're going to slide that paper right on the top. And I might have closed up one of my little cuts there, so I'll just get the knife back in there and just make sure we get some slits on those. We'll grab my mittens and get the top put on it so it can go into that oven, and I'll be right back. All right, I've got the bread now inside my bread cloche with the lid on it, and I'll put that back into that preheated oven at 450 degrees. We're going to cook this for 30 minutes, and at that point, take the lid off of it, and then if you want to brown it, we'll leave the lid off of it and leave it sitting in there at that temperature for another 10 to 15 minutes. Keep a watch on it. Everybody's stove cooks a little bit differently. It might not take 30 minutes, and if it don't, then if it starts browning already with the lid on it, then just go ahead and take it out and it's ready to go. I'll bring you back and show you when this is done. I've taken my bread out of the oven and I did put this on a rack to cool down. You definitely want to let this cool for about an hour. Do not try to cut into this unless you're going to eat it entirety at one sitting, because if you cut it open before it has an opportunity to cool, the steam will escape out of it, and if you just cut 1 or 2 slices out of it, it could dry out. So definitely leave it intact let it cool down on its own. That steam will stay in there and make a nice crumb on your bread. So we've got nice browning all the way around on this. Looks really pretty. Those cranberries are coming through on the top of that. Let's give this a cut and a taste and see what we have here. I've got me a nice piece of my bread. You can see how nice and moist the crumb is on the inside of it there. We've got those cranberries spread out through, and those pecans are really nicely in there. I've got a nice loaf of bread. Let's take a look at the other piece here and see what we've got. And I'll give that a squeeze here on the top. You can see how nice that is on that. It's very pliable, very nice. So I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on that and let's give it a taste. It smells absolutely incredible. It smells just like a nice yeasty bread. Let's try it. So good. The tartness of those cranberries are coming through. They've got a little piece of a pecan when I bit into it. This is really good bread. I know you're going to want to try this recipe. I'm going to get another bite. This bread is absolutely delicious. I know you're going to want to try this recipe. And if you like this content, maybe you might consider giving me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And while you're at it, check out one of these other two videos over here on the side. You might find something else you like. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment. I want to hear how your cranberry and pecan bread turned out. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye now.